WFTDA.TV viewer. We are here. I am Pelvis Costello. With me is Sash and Victim. We want to thank Double H and Reverend Al Mighty for giving you things coming into this game. What a fantastic matchup already. We've got the 8 and 9 seeds starting on this session. One of the things that you're seeing is like Dutchland, although not beating any of the top 10 teams in this season, coming extremely close against Steel City, our seed 5, and Boston, seed 7.
Yeah, and Carolina has also played against Boston as well. When you talk about the comparisons of Carolina versus Dutchland, they both have two similar opponents in that Boston, Carolina lost to them by 9 points, Dutchland by 19, and they also played against Maine. And this is where you're going to see the difference because Carolina beat Maine by 45 points, but Dutchland beat them by 175 points. So while Dutchland does not have a win over a top 10 team, and Carolina does, they have played very similar teams, and Maine is no joke.
No, not at all. And with Dutchland, actually, that Maine scored 250 to 75. You're talking about really bringing the power in just the last few months of that season, really trying to go in that interleague bout to show that they've got something to prove coming into the 2012 East Region playoffs.
Absolutely, and Carolina, they have victories, as we mentioned, over top 10 competition. They did defeat DC on March 11th by a score of 127 to 78, and they also have 3 victories over top 10 finishers in the North Central Tournament, including a big win over the number 4 finisher in the North Central Tournament, Ohio, with a 125 to 110 score.
Absolutely amazing. And right now what you're seeing here on the feed of high quality, you've got Carolina right in front of you. Good old DVS, Erna Beatnik, King. We also wanted to let you know that while you're here, you can actually live tweet at us with the hashtag #TalkToWFTDA. Please text often. We will be responding to you live.
Absolutely, and if you're out there listening to the audio feed, consider the upgrade to the video feed. It's only $12. You know, you can either go to see a movie this weekend, or you can watch 17 high action-packed games of roller derby right here in high definition on WFTDA.TV. And Pelvis, I think we should run down the rosters here. You see Carolina in the black. They're going to roster number 110 Jesse King, number 12 MC Fight, number 131 DVS, number 17 Misanthrope the Morden, number 187 Caddy Compton, 1893 Sue Yu, 299 Ginger Clobbers, 313 JoJo Gadget, 365 Erna Beaton, number 6 Thrashley, 66 Daisy Rage, 704 Pretty Reckless, 77, as Double H mentioned, the return of Roxy Rocket, and also return from leave number 999 Holly Wanna Crack Ya.
Absolutely wonderful. And their challenges right now, seed 9 in our region, the Dutchland Derby Rollers. Number 11, Spinal Snap. 1793, Marie Antoinette. 18, Skid Ho. 1834, Spanish in Collision. 1959, Laverne and Surly. Number 20, Sistine Shrapnel. 21, Josie Cuervo. Number 40, Twisted Scissors. 404, JK Trolling. 42, My Helody. 65, KT Boundary. 750, Slammin' Shots. 777, Treasure Chest. And 99, Bella Loblowski. And here we are starting up on the jam line. You can see right there, number 18, Skid Ho, up there for Dutchland.
She's going up against number 299, Ginger Clobbers. At rugby scrum start to immediately release the jammers as one team starts on their knee. Ginger Clobbers through right away before they exit turn 1. Lead jammer for Carolina, but Pelvis, it's a jammer race.
Skid Ho was doing a great job with this in the Boston game earlier this year, being right up on the grades of like Little Pain and our other jammers. So what you're seeing here is definitely Dutchland just trying to get a feel for the Carolina jam.
Yeah, absolutely, and a good call off there by Ginger Clobbers. Realized it was completely pointless to try and continue the race, called off the jam immediately, and just decided, you know what, let's get back to action.
That's right, and here we go. Speaking of action, JK Trolling up on the jam line.
She's for Dutchland and her opponent. The return once again of Holly Wanna Crack Ya. Just returned last month after a leave of absence. She's back in action. She's got the Sparkle fanny pack ready to go.
Yep, JK being knocked all the way to the inside. That is number 313 helping out.
And Holly Wanna Crack Ya is through. Lead jammer for Carolina. It looks like they have trapped the Dutchland jammer behind a wall. It looks like JoJo Gadget is in there. She's a fierce competitor to beat out there.
Trolling now just trying to make her way through trying to break through that front line.
And Miss Anthrop the Mordant, not an easy wall to cross. She's made it through, though, just as Holly Wanacrakia completes her scoring pass. Holly Wanacrakia engaging the jammer. Of course, jammers can engage each other anywhere on the track.
Yeah, an interesting day. 4 points there. She calls it off after letting her go.
They were still in the engagement zone. Holly Wanacrakia was trying to get her hips past J.K. Trolling, was not able to do so, only able to score 4 points on that pass, but that's a 4-0 lead for for Carolina, as we have 28 minutes remaining in the first period.
And we wanted to let you know that part of the action is being brought to you by Rydell, the official skate of the WFTDA. Unmatched quality, unmatched performance. That's RydellSkates.com.
Looks like it's going to be DVS on the jammer line for Carolina, once again on the rugby scrum start. Twisted Scissors completing the 80s rock tandem here for Dutchland, number 40. Both jammers running right into the back walls. They're pushing the walls forward. Twisted Scissors is out first. She's lead jammer for Dutchland.
Amazing work right there.
And it looks like we had a score update. Holly Wanacrakia was credited for the lap point. 5-0 is the score in favor of Carolina. Although Dutchland is going to try and put a dent in that, Carolina's jammer is out.
Right now in the back of the pack, you're seeing all the members of Dutchland just trying to hold it back, seeing where the pack is. Scissors already coming up against a strong line of black and red.
And she doesn't decide to call it as well, because that's going to be crucial, because Dutchland's wall is in the back. Carolina's jammer has already passed a couple of Dutchland blockers, and Dutchland scoring pass completed. 4 points for the Dutchland Derby Rollers. Roxy Rocket going into the penalty box. It's going to be a 3-on-3 pack. DVS looks like she's completed her scoring pass. Twisted Scissors sees that Carolina's jammer has left the pack. She's going to try and add points onto the board for Dutchland, so it's not a complete wash, Pelvis.
No, not at all. Seeing that both teams actually scoring it up, that jam, 3 more points there on the board being given to Dutchland.
Fierce competition thus far. Once again, the triangulation told us this was going to be a good match. And throughout the course, you see on the replay, Twisted Scissors getting through the two front wall. Roxy Rocket goes down, and it looks like she gets called for a low block major. You see Jason Singer, the jam ref, right with the eyes on the action.
Again, folks, if you are listening to the audio feed, do that upgrade. Go on to WFTDA.tv, pay that money, and you can see all of that replay action.
And it looks like it's going to be Skidho jamming for Dutchland, and she's actually out. It's a power jam. Carolina, number 6 Thrashley, has lead jammer status, and Pelvis, Carolina is dangerous on the power jam.
Oh yeah, a power jam, hot damn. You got to see the way that Carolina moves. They are all about capitalizing on those penalties.
And the blockers that are in there for Carolina are also splitting up the Dutchland wall, trying to make it so they can goat the back blocker. And what that means is that the back blocker, of course, the most amount of skaters from one side forms the completed pack, but Thrashley completes the scoring pass for 5 points, Pelvis.
Yeah, what you're seeing here, Sistine Shrapnel taking up the front line there for Dutchland. She's been really dangerous throughout the season, trying to just push her way around. Look at that control right now.
And that's going to be an out-of-play major on the Dutchland pivot, who just rejoined the action. That's number 99, Bella Lablosi, as the jam gets called off. 19-7. I told you they were dangerous on the power jam, Pelvis.
One thing that I know about danger is you need to have that proper insurance that you will not get hurt. So are you tired of sliding through the slippery corners? Try the new Radar Villain Wheel, RadarWheels.com.
And you know, with all of these tournament plays, with the different surfaces that people are skating on, you need a good all-purpose wheel, and the Villain is absolutely fantastic for that. Power jam carries over. It is going to be Holly Wanacrakia, number 999, jamming. She's through before they even get to the pivot line, Pelvis.
She's got some nitrous in that fanny pack session, and she's just making her way around that pack. Looking up in the control, Carolina having the numbers in the pack game.
You don't see her right on the screen, but Dutchland's jammer is standing and has just been released as Holly Wanacrakia has engaged the pack on her first scoring pass. Dutchland, of course, will be on their initial pass.
And they are going for those blockage. Such great moves and control there by Dutchland. Treasure chest going for it, but Holly Wanacrakia is through. 5-point grand slam right there for Carolina.
And Holly Wanacrakia is a seasoned veteran. She knows where the opposing jammer is at all times. That's one of the things you will see out of Holly Wanacrakia. She always pays close attention. You see her eyes roving around the track. As Jessie King with a great hit to knock the Dutchland jammer to the infield, but able to recover, gets through, and Holly Wanacrakia calls off the jam.
Woo.
With the jazz hands to celebrate as well, Pelvis.
That's right. Stage Fingus. Makers of Antic, Gumball, Toe Stops, Heartless Wheels, Reckless Wheels, and Moto Bearings, Green Monster doesn't just give you great derby products, they give you confidence. That is GRNMNSTR.com, greenmonster.com. You'll love it.
So 28-7 right now is the score. 23.5 minutes remaining in the first period. Dutchland trailing Carolina. If you're just joining us, Carolina is in the black and white as Ginger Clobbers is through. Slips coming into turn number 2.
And now looking up there, look in that pack. Number 404, she is getting blocked all the way to the inside, and it looks like
JoJo Gadget wanted a cut on the Dutchland jammer, number 404, JK Trolling. Carolina doing some great pack positioning. They're taking the front, leaving their jammer to go through, fight basically the back wall by themselves, but they're able to fight off Dutchland's jammer in the front. There's some bridging going on. Finally, Dutchland's jammer is through.
Wow.
5-point scoring pass completed here by Carolina. Ginger Clobbers has engaged the pack and has called off the jam.
What an incredible orange wall, just holding it back. That is 2 points up there for Carolina at that last bit.
Yeah, Clobbers had engaged the pack, tried to push her way through, looked back for just a brief second and called it off. Kelly Hurt and Heavy D, the coaches for Carolina, have been training their jammers to call it off as soon as humanly possible, never give up a point to the opposing team.
Now jamming for Carolina, Sasha, we've got number 6 Thrashley in the black and red for Carolina, and KT Boundary, number 65, out there in the orange for Dutchland.
Looks like it is 3-on-3 in the pack, even strength packs. DVS knocked JK Boundary out of bounds, forced her to re-enter. Almost like a battle royal happening in the straightaway between turns 2 and 3. Thrashley is through first, lead jammer Carolina.
Thrashley definitely getting power through that. Meanwhile, you are watching Katie get knocked down. Number 65 recycled to the back of the pack and now looking for her way through. Just as Thrashley comes in for scoring, tries to jump the apex, has to crawl back inside to try to avoid those cuts.
Yeah, that's one of the things you absolutely have to be careful of, especially if your momentum carries you inbounds on your skates. That would be considered a track cut. Looks like the initial pass has been completed by Dutchland. Miss Anthrop the Mordant back in there, trying to open up a hole. Thrashley finds it. Gets a 3-point scoring pass completed, Pelvis.
Absolutely wonderful. Iron Doll Clothing is one of our great sponsors. They have custom uniforms for the modern roller girl and referee, lifting and separating since 2009. That's IronDollClothing.com.
Less than 21 minutes remaining in the first period here. Carolina has extended the lead, have 29 unanswered points on the board. They lead 38-7. And once again, if you're just joining us, Dutchland is in the orange and black, as that's Pretty Reckless who shoved her way through on that line, Pelvis.
It's always important when you're living up to your namesake. And what we got to say is, speaking of namesakes, we've got a namesake for you to shout back at us. That's hashtag #2 WFTDA. Tweet at us.
Yes, please let us know what you think. Judge us and let us know how awful or great we are.
And check out this action. This is even better. 5 points up on the line for Reckless and Carolina. A grand slam already widening that lead. 20 minutes still left in this period.
And Pretty Reckless is also one of the proliferation of speed skaters that have entered roller derby. And you need that speed skating. When you get that straightaway, you have to take it, Pelvis. There's a call-off, but a track cut, and Pretty Reckless, Pelvis, is going to the penalty box. Dutchland with a great opportunity to put some points back on the board. Power jam Dutchland.
Yep, and there you got Bella Leblowski now getting knocked down. She is now still making her way across. That winds up getting a penalty there for Rocket. She is going.
And it's a full box as well. JoJo Gadget is also in the box, so it's a 4-on-2 pack. And Pelvis, this is the passive offense we've been seeing sweep the nation over the last couple of months. Dutchland's blockers not engaging. It's just a 2-wall as they're forced to let Bella Leblowski go. It's a 5-point scoring pass for Dutchland. Important to note, Dutchland cannot call off the jam.
Bella just powering through one more time, and that's 5 more points. The 5-finger special, as Lady Oshun has called it.
Once again, passive offense here is Daisy Rage and Caddy Compton, the only blockers for Carolina. Caddy Compton, relatively new to the Carolina squadron, joining from Apprentice League Star City in Roanoke, Virginia, still not able to hold back Bella Loblosi as time expires on the jam, Pelvis.
That's right. We're bringing it right now to you. It looks like 3 more points being scored there.
And a team timeout being called by Dutchland. You don't see it on your screen. And Pelvis, as you can see right here, Bella Loblosi, once again, Roxy Rocket, the foot got caught, and that's a low block major on Roxy Rocket. That's the second time she's had that penalty. She has to be careful about her foot positioning. She's just come back from a break. She has to be careful. She might, I don't know if it's rink rust or something along those lines, but she has to be careful about those low block penalties.
Right now, living and dying by the penalties has been a little bit of the Achilles heel of Carolina this season. As you're seeing right there with Regulus, when you're talking about speed skating is also making sure that you understand that positional blocking is not part of the speed skating sport. It's something you've got to be aware of.
Yeah.
You know, and as this game evolves, we're definitely checking it. Do you got the stick and moves of Little Mac from Punch-Out, or are you just getting out there like it's an open skate? You got to watch yourself.
And I have been corrected by our fans out there, More Manipulator. Thank you very much. Pretty Reckless was a jam skater, not a speed skater. I knew it was one of those two, but my brain just wouldn't allow me to process it. She had a lot of speed out there, so I thought speed skater. Sorry about that, everybody.
It was just... So what I was saying, yeah.
Yeah. Still applies to jam skating. You have to dance, you know?
That's right. Well, you want to get information like this, you should check out Blood and Thunder, the world's first and largest roller derby magazine. Find us at bloodandthundermag.com.
I carry that with me everywhere I go, Pelvis. It's a great read, especially on long trips.
I saw it in your bag.
Absolutely. Right up here to Essex Junction. Looks like the team timeout is right now currently an official timeout. So this is what we're looking at right now. 46-27 is the score. If I don't know if Dutchland may have used their official review on this one. They do get one official review per half, so it's going to be interesting to see if they decided it was worth it at this point to use the official review.
Looks like we're about to start this back up again. Holly wanna crack you up there in the black and red and pink fanny pack for Carolina.
Absolutely, and that's going to be Skid Ho for Dutchland. We are waiting on word as to what the official timeout was about. As soon as we know, we will let you know. Skid Ho just had JoJo Gadget to beat, swoop to the inside and is through. Dutchland has lead jammer status.
Wow.
Oh my God, right over there, incredible hit in turn number 3.
Yeah, Holly wanna crack you get knocked out. Now she makes her way through.
It looks like the official timeout was to make sure the points and penalties are correct. In a situation like this, Pelvis, where a loss means you go to the consolation bracket, you have to make sure all those points and penalties are absolutely on the dot.
Well, it's like Depeche Mode says, everything counts.
In large amounts, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And there were a large amount of points scored thus far. 46-29 is the score as we have less than 18 minutes remaining here in the first. And Pelvis, who's bringing us our next jam? I believe that is Printco Graphics for your league's printing and promotional needs. You can hit them up on the web at printcographics.com.
Oh, I'm so excited. You are watching here on WFTDA.tv. You are seeing Carolina at 46, Dutchland at 29. 17 minutes, 23 seconds left in period 1.
And Clobbers have one blocker to beat. She does so going into turn number 2. Carolina is lead jammer. That's
wow.
number 299.
Twisted Scissors, you just watched. She was making her way out of the pass, and then there you go. Ginger Clobber already engaged and ready to rage, calling it off. No points in that jam.
Scoreless jam, once again, that comes down to what Carolina has been drilling this entire time, making sure their jammers are not having their opponents score wasteful points.
One thing that is not a waste is Fast Girl Skates. Fast Girl Skates, the first full-service brick-and-mortar derby store in the world, brings their extensive in-store experience to you online. We know firsthand how to make feet happy and skaters fast. That's fastgirlskates.com. 16
minutes, 30 seconds remaining here in the first period. Carolina with the lead, 46-29. No movement at the start of the whistle, so Dutchland forcing a no-pack situation. 3 blockers took a knee while 1 blocker went out of play. That forces no pack. As Thrashley squeezes her way through just out of turn number 1. She's lead jammer for Carolina, Pelvis.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. You got to give it up to Caddy Compton right in the front, just keeping back. just holding her as the scoring pass already begins. It's fantastic work. Carolina now putting some active defense in here, just relying on their jammer to try to get through that orange.
Yeah, Carolina's blocking game has always been phenomenal with skaters such as Misanthrope the Mordant, Roxy Rocket, JoJo Gadget, and Caddy Compton has really grown after joining the Carolina roster. 5-point scoring pass completed there as Skid Ho was passed within the engagement zone. Carolina putting more points on the board here, Pelvis.
Just Carolina really just taking it to the house, coming all the way up here in beautiful, picturesque Burlington, Vermont. Essex Junction to you locals. We want to thank both the Green Mountain Derby Dames and Montreal Roller Derby for hosting this glorious tournament.
And of course, if you're listening to the audio feed, it's not too late. You can buy the video feed for only $12 for the entire weekend. 16 and a half games remaining. You can watch them all in crystal clear high definition. Whoop, whoop.
Reckless still trying to find her way through. Oh, she almost powers through, goes on the inside, but it is up to Scissors to get lead jammer staying on her feet and getting an LJ for the Dutchland.
That was an extremely fast-moving pack. Both teams are at full strength. It's extremely difficult to get through such a fast-moving pack when there are 4 skaters on each side out there in the pack, not counting the jammers, Pelvis.
You're exactly right. Scissors gets knocked to the inside. She says she's trying to call it off, but no, it looks like a cut major. So now we're going to get a power jam situation this time for Carolina. Exactly what Reckless was looking for.
I think there was a little bit of confusion because it sounded like the jam got called off as the cut was being initiated. Remember, you can still pick up a penalty up until the 4th whistle. So even if you call it off and then cut the track, you've still cut the track. You're going to the box. And that means Carolina is going to start the next jam with a power jam. And this is not who you want to see if you're on the opposite side of the power jam. That is number 999, Holly Wanna Crack Ya.
That's right. Holly Wanna Crack Ya giving high fives to Compton.
She was the highest scoring jammer on Carolina's roster in 2011 was Holly Wanna Crack Ya. Returning to action after a leave of absence, she played against Atlanta. Back in action here today. She's through. Lead jammer for Carolina, Holly Wanna Crack Ya.
Absolutely great. Now you're looking, Dutchland just trying to knock into that Carolina pack, trying to find a way to slow Holly Wanna Crack Ya down. Wow, they come in on her, and she still stays up, winds up getting a 5-point grand slam right there.
Laverne and Surly tried to make the hit going into turn number 4, was not able to do so because Crack Ya swept through. Now she's facing a 3-woman wall by herself, but Holly Wanna Crack Ya is very, very tough, able to squeeze through once again. That's another completed scoring pass for 5 points, Pelvis.
Wow, Carolina just shelling right now in the last part of period 1.
And this is the thing is, right now, Carolina, I believe, had 20 points on the last power jam. They've already got 15 on this one. It's about to come to its conclusion as the Dutchland jammer is standing and is re-entering at this time.
Oh, is lightning striking thrice? It is. Check it out. 5 more points.
That is going to be 20 points. Dutchland's jammer has completed her initial pass. So Holly Wanna Crack Ya gets through and calls it 24 points in one jam, Pelvis.
24 points, waving the old hello, mom, I did it. Fantastic work.
And this is why you cannot give Carolina a power jam in the slightest. They are deadly in the power jam.
We're going to start this up, this jam being brought to you by Adam Wheels, proud partner and official wheel of the WFTDA. That is adamwheels.com.
It's going to be number 299, Ginger Clobbers out there for Carolina.
And I believe that's number 18, Skid Ho from Dutchland.
If you're just joining us, this is Sasha and Victim along with Pelvis Costello. Thank you for watching on WFTDA.tv if you've purchased the video feed. If you're out there on the audio feed, once again, I know I'm going to hammer the point home. It's $12 for the whole weekend. You got to watch this. This is going to be a fantastic tournament.
Heck yeah, look at Skid Ho already up at the front of that line, but oh, lead jammer going to Carolina.
Clobbers with a bit of a high step coming through on turn number 2. And Carolina, I believe this is a 4th straight lead jammer. Second, I'm sorry. My brain is completely collapsed due to all of the power jams.
Initial pass already going in there for Dutchland. Jam gets called, 4 more points. What an amazing thing already. For those of you known right now in period 1, you're seeing the highest points scored for both teams. Holly Wanna Crack Ya has scored 38 so far in period 1. Bella Lebowski looks like she's got 20.
But something important to note about Bella Lebowski also is that she has 3 trips to the box already with 11 minutes remaining here in the first period. Lee Howren out on Twitter asked where V Diva is playing right now. She was a huge skater for Dutchland. She is currently playing for the Philly Liberty Bells, who will be in action at 8 p.m. today.
You're going to love it, like a Carnation instant breakfast. Just in an instant.
That is incredible, those Carnation Instant Breakfasts. Thrashley, lead jammer for Carolina, 3rd straight lead jammer status in a row. When we spoke about penalty troubles, Roxy Rocket right now has 3 trips to the box as well. So Miss Anthropomortem with 2 trips. That's your penalty trouble for Carolina. And
now we're looking Thrashley just trying to get through that line of orange. They're starting to clear it up for her. She gets through, but it looks like she got a minor track cut, so only 4 points on that pass.
And JoJo Gadget trying to hold back Twisted Scissors. She's getting some bridging right there. You see some incredible footwork by JoJo Gadget. The bridging is absolutely fantastic for Carolina.
Oh my God. Oh, and a track cut right now for Scissors, which means it's a power jam for Carolina.
Thrashley is through on turn number 3. Boy, JoJo Gadget is an absolute treat to watch in the pack, Pelvis.
I've been seeing JoJo Gadget while she's been skating. It has been a phenomenal year. And now, wow, Apex Leap, Apex Leap, and Thrashley gets it for a grand slam right there.
My jaw has completely dropped.
She goes again, she does it again. Amazing, amazing.
Everybody in the Champlain Valley Exposition has lost their minds right here. And this is just game number 1, Pelvis.
Carolina definitely bringing it to the proving ground of battle right here in the Champlain Valley Expo. She's now looking for her way again.
Has Laverne, don't believe that. No, it's sorry. Marie-Antoine Threat to beat calls off the jam.
Marie-Antoine Threat trying to staunch that bleeding, but 4 more points. Look at Thrashley right there. Oh my God. Just amazing. Getting that hug, getting all of that. It's just amazing the amount of celebration that's already started. 8 minutes and 45 seconds left, Sashin. And that jam already one of my favorites of the entire year, bringing Carolina to 101 against Dutchland's 29.
And there is 8.5 minutes remaining here in the first period. We have a question out on Twitter. What's the story with the fanny pack? I asked Holly Wanna-Cracky before, and she said it's full of magic. That's all I've got.
There you go. Bippity boppity boo. Lead jammer there. Holly Wanna-Cracky. Your question just got answered.
There you go. It's full of magic, and it's got Charlie the Unicorn on it, full of sparkles.
Now let's see if she can get through it. Almost stop wall. Treasure chest on the outside trying to hold her, so she slides on the in.
Initial pass is completed here by the Dutchland jammer. Power jam is over as Holly Wanna-Cracky completes a 4-point scoring pass.
Absolutely great work.
And Holly signaled she wants the jam to keep going. Dutchland has the back wall, so Dutchland may potentially forfeit points. Oh, that might be a back block.
Oh, yep. They're actually calling it.
A low block major on Holly Wanna-Cracky. So not calling off the jam is going to cause a bit of a problem here, as now Dutchland has a power jam, cannot call off the jam as Holly was lead jammer.
Things get rocky if you start to get cocky, and now we are seeing Twisted Scissors now trying to make her way through that pack.
But she's got MC Fight, Jesse King, and JoJo Gadget out there to try and beat. Not exactly an easy situation at all. JoJo!
Whew. Look at the people just being tossed around. Now you're seeing Treasure Chest back up. Scissors now trying to look for a way through that wall of black.
JoJo was penalized for that hit. She's on the way to the penalty box. Looked like it was dangerously close to a high block.
Oh, and Scissors is going. It looks like a 4th minor. We're going to get a power jam switch up.
Holly Wanna-Cracky, actually, you don't see it on your screen. She left the box early. She has returned, so I don't believe she will be assessed the penalty. We're going to see here. It's not on your screen. Holly Wanna-Cracky is out. She will not be assessed the leaving the box early penalty for illegal procedure. And she cannot call off the jam. There's only 3 seconds, but she might be able to complete this pass.
Will it happen?
Dutchland's jammer got 4 points before she was sent to the box. 4 points for Holly Wanna-Cracky, so that was a wash. Pelvis, we're going to start the next jam with 6 minutes remaining on the box here. Remaining in the first period. The referees are consulting with the penalty box to see if Holly Wanna-Crack should serve time for leaving the box early. I believe the rule is that if you pass the point of no return, you have left the box early. So we're going to get clarification on that as we have an official timeout. As soon as we know, you will know. But Pelvis, putting together a tournament like this is not cheap. We have great sponsors that are helping us all the way.
Heck yes we do, like bonesbearings.com. Roller bones and bones bearings, always a winning combination. And of course, Derby Skins, the original Shiny Heiny, may be imitated but never duplicated. DerbySkins.com. That's skins with the Z, as though you were writing an Onyx album cover.
Or a Z if you're out there in the Englands. Of course, London will be competing at 2 o'clock against Montreal.
Oh, I am so excited for all of these games, but the Montreal and London, after last year's bouts, have certainly got me excited to see where that fight's going.
That was the 2011 Derby News Network Bout of the Year for a very good reason. It was a 137 to 135 score. It's going to be interesting to see if they can continue that sort of high-quality derby, and then the winner of that game would advance to play the winner of the Philly winner of Boston, D.C. game. That's a mouthful, Pelvis.
It is. But one thing that is not a mouthful is to always check out the purveyors of the Derby Unusual. We're not crazy. We just like Derby. Derbyology.com.
And Pelvis, I know the owners of Derbyology.com. I can confirm they are not crazy. They do just like Derby.
All they wanted was a Pepsi, and we're going to give it to them.
You know, and actually one of the cool things about the owners of Derbyology is that they actually took their coffee table, painted a roller derby track on it for situations. Barely Human is the coach of the Gold Coast Derby girls down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. An incredible coach, and that's actually how he does strategy and lineups, is he's painted the track on the table and uses bottle caps to point out where he wants his skaters to go. So yes, they're not crazy, they just love the Derby.
That is a matter of love. And speaking of love, Wicked Skatewear Hearts, their sponsored leagues, Denver, Bay Area, Arizona, and Angel City.
Official timeout is still happening right now. Once again, as soon as we know, you will know. You can see on the track, Carolina very happy. They hold the lead 109 to 33 with 6 minutes 4 seconds remaining here in the first period when we return to action.
Just a happy Carolina. A happy, happy Carolina, like a Bob Ross painting.
Yeah, and you know, last year Carolina won the 9th place game. It was their only victory of the tournament. They defeated Maine. So the fact that they may advance to play the defending WFTDA champions Gotham, they can't get complacent. They have to get ready to go. But the fact they may go through, it's an elation for them.
Yeah, we're seeing right now during that official timeout, the jam coach for Carolina just trying to make sure that everything is on the level.
On the level, and it looks like there will be a penalty. We do not yes, there will be a penalty for leaving the box early. You do not see it on your screen. We see it right in front of us here at the Champlain Exposition.
Yep, both Montreal, the Influenza, and the Prince of Pain from Boston doing the official timeout on that.
And we heard from the head referee that, yes, Holly Wanna-Crack did leave the box early. I didn't see it from my vantage point, Pelvis, but if she crossed that point of no return, she can't come back. So it's an illegal procedure major. Both jammers are going to start the jam in the penalty box, but Twisted Scissors will be released as soon as the first whistle goes.
So we're still waiting on that timeout. We want to talk directly to thousands of Derby fans. If you are a sponsor and advertise on WFTDA.tv, we've got affordable packages. They're available for your business, boot camp, and tournament advertising. Visit WFTDA.com/sponsor/opportunities to learn more.
So if you're just joining us once again, this is Sasha and Victim along with Pelvis Costello. 6 minutes remaining here in the first period. It looks like Twisted Scissors waiting to be cleared by the penalty timer. Dutchland waiting to start the pack until then. An illegal procedure was signaled. I don't know if that second whistle went. It did not. That's an illegal procedure. Major penalty because the second whistle I don't believe went.
No, that was just the first whistle. So it looks like, Twisted Scissors now. She is sitting in the penalty box again. We have still yet to start this off.
And now you see Holly Wanna-Crack. You're saying, all right, I'm going to go. So now Carolina is going to start. What a mistake there by the Dutchland jammer. Holly Wanna-Crack is loose. And she is still eligible to score lead as well. She's through. Lead jammer for Carolina, Holly Wanna-Kracket-Pelvis. I don't think I've seen anything quite like that in a while.
No, this is definitely a different way of going. People are just getting ready. You're seeing Dutchland has the strategy if they want to score as many points as possible before this runs out. Meanwhile, 5 more points for Carolina as Holly Wanna-Kracket looks behind her and is just like, yep, there's Twisted Scissors. I remember her from my days in the box.
And of course, Twisted Scissors still on her initial pass. Holly Wanna-Kracket not taking any chances, calls off the jam.
Wow. Absolutely phenomenal bout to begin off our entire weekend of the East Region Playoffs, which you are watching on WFTDA.tv. Don't forget you can keep tweeting at us with your hashtag #TalkToWFTDA.
Don't forget to stick around, of course, because at noon it will be the other first round bout, the number 7 seed Boston Massacre going up against the number 10 seed DC All-Stars. And Pelvis, there's been a trend of number 10 seeds upsetting number 7 seeds, not just at the tournaments this year, but also at East Region playoffs. So DC might have a fighting chance. It's not the sure win like it used to be.
And speaking of fighting chance, check that out, lead jammer right there. You're seeing Clobbers getting it for Carolina.
And Jesse King is going into the penalty box for Carolina. That's going to mean 2 blockers out on the track. But it's DVS and JoJo Gadget. Ginger Clobbers with a slip right there in turn number 3, calls off the jam, gets 2 points for the Carolina All-Stars.
Bouncing off hips like that, you call it the way that you can, and it looks like that was 3 points.
Oh, 3 points, okay.
And so what we're seeing now up in the score, just one more time, that is Dutchland 33, Carolina 118.
You know, I hate to cut you off there, Pelvis. I had this penciled in to be a very tight game. I'm surprised to see Carolina is coming out of the gates swinging here.
This is definitely shades of the Carolina of old, of seasons past, now just being loaded for bear. So one of my first big interleague games was seeing some Carolina dominance, and seeing this again, it is just like a Secret Santa wish.
Yeah, well, Carolina did go to the WFTDA Championship Tournament in 2006, 2007, and 2008. They have not advanced from the East Region playoffs since 2009. They want to change that, but if they win this game, because it's still not in the box yet, they face a buzzsaw in the next round in the Gotham All-Stars.
That's right. Wow, check that out. Lead jammer for Katie Boundary right there for Dutchland.
And Thrashley for Carolina, number 6, chasing her down. Dutchland has the back of the pack. They need to get the front. If they don't want Thrashley to score points, they cannot do so, and KT Boundary calls off the jam. Scoreless jam, Pelvis.
Yeah, this is a case of both the jammer and the blockers being very aware of what their jobs are. And Katie just looking back the way that she was, she's like, is this worth the risk? And calculated it was not. She just gives it a call.
Yeah, when you're down by 85 points, you don't want to run the risk of giving up another point. It's better to have a scoreless jam than to let them score any points whatsoever when they're already trailing by a significant amount.
Ginger Clobbers, number 299, up there in the black and red.
It's going to be number 99, Bella Lablosi for Dutchland. 2 minutes remaining here in the game as we have an official timeout.
Once we get this, folks, we're going to see with the official timeout to figure out exactly what it is for.
Well, it was quick, so we should be getting that information over to us very soon.
As we're starting, I want to give that big shout out to 5 Stride. Online, in-store, in the city that never sleeps, owned by Bounty Thunders and OMG WTF, 5stride.com.
Ginger Clobbers is through. She's lead jammer for Carolina. The period clock and the jam clock have the same amount of time on it, but since we have a jammer race, I don't believe they're going to let this go the full 2 minutes, Pelvis. Clobbers with a slip right there in turn number 2. Maybe she should get some of those radar villains. Bella Lablosi with that front wall she has to pass is able to do so just as Clobbers completes her pass as well, Pelvis.
Getting 4 points for both of them. Bella doing a really great thing in that last pass, going up against Morden, just going right past her. It's fantastic to see right there, matching each other point for point. It may not change the spread, but it's certainly a little victory there. 4-4, and then 0-0 on that one.
And that was good awareness there by Clobbers. Dutchland had the back wall. She called off the jam as she was going into the pack. Hips did not pass. She had to get knocked to the inside, called off the jam, didn't want to risk losing any points. 122-37 is the score. And right now, in terms of updates, Roxy Rocket is in penalty trouble for Carolina. She has 4 trips to the box already. Miss Anthrop the Morden already has 3. And for Dutchland, Twisted Scissors, a primary jammer, has 4 trips to the box. That's a dangerous situation to be in.
That's right. Now both Skid Ho and Pretty Reckless up there on the jam line. Reckless being knocked to the inside, taking that knee, has to be recycled to the back of the pack.
Dutchlin's Jammer trying to get past Caddy Compton. That's not an easy task. And Pretty Reckless is through. It is not lead.
No, that goes to Skid Ho. Skid Ho just calling it off right there. We've got 19 seconds to go. Amazing work so far by Carolina. Starting to line up on that. I'm not even sure if we're going to have time. Without a timeout, it ain't happening.
I don't believe it will, and Dutchland has already used one of their timeouts. I don't believe it would be a sound strategy to use their second team timeout, and it looks like that is going to be it right there. I have my eye on the head referee there telling us things were over.
Right now, I wanted to let those of you who are watching know that we are working on correcting any problems with the live feed right now. Keep that up with the talk to Whooptada hashtag. We want to make sure, what if somebody was asking, is like maybe there are some big cows crossing the field out in the back. You know what, the Rev? I think you're right. There is a horse show in another area of the Expo Center right now.
That is absolutely true. You know, all that metal on those hooves cannot be good. And you can see warming up on the track right now, the Boston Massacre. They will be in game number 2. That will be at 12 o'clock. Up against the DC All-Stars. Pelvis, let's talk penalties, let's talk points. Lead jammer, top scoring jammer for Carolina is Holly Wannacracka with 52 points. Thrashley right behind her with 40 points. In terms of penalty trouble, of course, we mentioned Roxy Rocket, 4 trips to the penalty box and 3 for Misanthrope the Mordant.
That's right, and then we're going on the Dutchland side. Of course, the highest scorers right now, primarily one of the most fantastic blockers that I've been seeing in 2 seasons, Bella Lublowski, who's got 24, but she has also got 3 penalties at that time right now. Of course, so right now, JK Trolling, great blocker right now. She's been great, doing great. She's been in 9 jams so far, only 2 penalties. And of course, Twits' Scissors in penalty trouble, as you were saying, Sashin, with 4, but scoring 11 points. 1 point for every jam that she's been in.
Not exactly the best average in the world, but when the score is 122 to 37 at halftime, it's a pretty good ratio of the points. In fact, only 3 jammers for Dutchland have scored points. Obviously, Bella Loblosi, Twisted Scissors, and the other half of that 80s rock connection, Skid Ho.
That's right. 18 and life to go 0-0 as we are talking to you on WFTDA.tv.
And you know, Pelvis, I think we should probably take a break and get back. We'll be back in action here in about 12 minutes or so, but we need to take a break because those apex jumps from Thrashley, I need a moment. Pelvis, we've discussed the penalty problems that Carolina and Dutchland are both having. Carolina with the lead right now, 122 to 37, but they can't afford to get sloppy right now. They cannot afford whatsoever because already Roxy Rocket, one of their primary blockers, 4 trips to the box. Misanthrope the Mordant and JoJo Gadget, a very fearsome blocking team, both with 3 trips to the penalty box. They can't afford to get complacent right now because Dutchland is a team that if you give them that opportunity to run through the door, they will do so.
Winner of this game, of course, going to be taking on number 1 seeded Gotham later on today.
And Gotham, the defending WFTDA champions, would be heavily favored no matter who they face in that game. It could be upset central right here in Essex Junction, Vermont, though, if Carolina plays the way they have in this game so far. We're back in action. It's going to be Holly Wannacracka, number 999, jamming for Carolina.
Taking on number 18, Skid Ho. Skid Ho getting lead jammer right away. Get about half a lap between her.
If you're just joining us, Dutchland is in the orange, Carolina in the black. This is the start of the second period. Skid Ho!
Oh!
Major track cut right there, and that's what we mentioned earlier, the momentum. If you get knocked to the infield and you return to the track on your skates, cutting a blocker, even if it's momentum, you're still responsible for where you re-enter. That's a track cut, and Carolina taking advantage. That's 5 points for Carolina's all-star team.
Yeah, Holly Wannacracka and the team of Carolina, every jammer just getting ready for those opportunities. You really have to hand it to Carolina defense, just finding a way to hold that pack back to get 5 more points.
It's a micro pack situation right now where looks like Jessie King is going to go into the penalty box. That leaves Misanthrope the Mordant as the only eligible blocker, but she's about to be rejoined by DVS.
Meanwhile, 5 more points for Carolina. Holly Wannacracka just getting through that really mini pack. She's trying to get through again. Looks like Bella Leblowski going for a hit. Holly Wanakrakia smooths past it, goes on the outside, gets 5 more points.
And Pelvis, her wheel was as close as it could possibly be to the edge of the outside track boundary without actually going over.
And as we're starting with this, she gets hit in. J.K. Trowling just went to the box for her 4th minor, which means we've got 2 versus 2 in there with Carolina and Dutchland. Now Treasure Chest joining, and Skid Ho back through.
Skid Ho lost her lead jammer status when she went into the penalty box, so she completed her first scoring pass. Holly Wanakrakia pushes her way through.
She's trying to pass, she's getting past through Surly and Bella. A hard thing to do, but 4 more points right there for Carolina.
Carolina lead is now over 100. It will depend on the completion of this scoring pass by Skid Ho. Minor track cut assessed to Skid Ho, and she got off on that one. Very, very lucky. Pelvis. Looks like we're going to wait for the scoreboard to update. Dutchland 43, Carolina I believe will have 147. I may be wrong, as we have less than 28 minutes remaining here in the first period.
Now you're seeing KT Boundary up there, number 65 in the orange and black, coming up against Ginger Clobber, actually in the black, and then KT Boundary is actually in the orange. Sorry, it's Halloween. Orange and black are just confusing me.
It all works well together. Ginger Clobbers is through. Lead jammer for Carolina. The official score 146 to 43 in favor of Carolina out of Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh.
That's another trip to the box for JoJo Gadget as a lap point assessed for Ginger Clobbers. 5-point scoring pass. Pelvis, Carolina doesn't even need power jams at this point. They're putting some significant points on the board thanks to the positional blocking.
You're seeing that right there in the front. Now they're finally just letting her go. It looks like Compton just trying to harass her one last time as 4 more points are being put on the board by Clobber.
That was the initial pass completed there by Dutchland's jammer. Looked like Clobbers wanted to try and get the initial, the lap point. Was not able to do so before the jammer left the engagement zone.
And that's your jam. 0-0 on that last pass. A phenomenal, phenomenal start to period 2. We want to let you know that one of these things that makes it possible is our beautiful sponsors, and Bont is the only quad boot manufacturer with carbon fiber and fiberglass counters. Their one-piece, handmade from the inside out manufacturing technique offers the lightest and strongest boots on the market. You can visit them at bont.com. That's BONT.com.
It's going to be Thrashley, number 6, jamming for Carolina. The last time we saw her jamming, she jumped the apex on 2 consecutive scoring passes, Pelvis.
Absolutely wonderful. Look at Scissors just trying to get through a bunch of people facing her. But nope, Thrashley gets lead jammer status. She is all the way through, almost completely lapping as you're watching the recycling of the jammer Twisted Scissors to the back of the pack.
4 on 3 in the pack in favor of Dutchland. Right now the packs are looking a little bit split. Roxy Rocket with a great hip thrust to try and force Twisted Scissors out, but she went out as well.
Meanwhile, at the back of the pack, Thrashley was being able to be held for almost half a lap there. You're watching the ladies of Dutchland now trying to slow her down. She has to call it just as she passes through. Looks like 4 points on the board for Thrashley.
And Carolina's blocking situation is why they are in the situation they are in. They have been absolutely great about getting the front, and something that may have been lost in translation on the screen right now was when Roxy Rocket was in the back of the pack, forcing the jammer to be knocked out of bounds, she's getting waved to the front to try and get that front wall, which makes an advantageous situation for the jammers because they get that back wall, they just pass the hips.
And now we're starting to get Skid Ho getting a little bit of trouble. Both jammers, what amazing control. You're seeing both Dutchland and Carolina just trying to hold them back. They're on a concrete floor right now, which is not normally slippery, but you wouldn't know it by the amount of defensive blocking that you've been seeing slowing them jammers down.
Pretty Reckless is through. Minor track cut is why she is not lead jammer. Still eligible to score. Dutchland has not completed their initial pass. Still eligible for lead.
Checking it out right now. You're seeing Treasure Chest trying to slow her down. No, Reckless is through. That is a 5-point grand slam for Carolina.
As Skid Ho is through, has completed her initial pass, but she got recycled in the process. Oh no, it's a major track cut. She's going to the box, Pelvis.
Definitely not what Dutchland needs right now. And you were another power jam here for Carolina.
They've already put up 5 points, Pelvis. And this will be a completion of another scoring pass. What footwork by Pretty Reckless.
Did you see that? Reckless just sticking there. Treasure Chest actually getting called out on the penalty box before that hit. But it's still Reckless staying up and staying powerful. Absolutely amazing.
And it looks like she's approaching that inside line, decides to swoop to the outside. She's got a 2-wall to beat in the front. See, weave through the line. Absolutely phenomenal, Pelvis. 15 points in this jam alone, and she can't stop the clock because she's not lead.
No, but she's looking like she don't need to as she's going through again for 5 more points.
Oh my goodness, Pelvis, usually the 8-9 is one of the closer matchups. Dutchland looks completely stymied right now with Pretty Reckless. This is the third jammer for Carolina to put up a 20-plus point power jam.
Phenomenal work right here. Yeah, Dutchland definitely looking a little rattled on there, just trying to find out exactly where the jammer is. But one thing that Reckless has been very good is to find a way to not be where you're looking for her. And there you go. That is 4 more points for Carolina. Amazing work.
I have to get my jaw up off the floor, Pelvis.
Yep. You know what? This is all about strategy. And when you want to talk about strategy, you can also talk about board games and play the first strategy board game that was based on modern-day roller derby. That's Jammer Up. JammerUp.com. You can play it right on your coffee table.
Something important to note right now is that Carolina has 2 jammers that have completely outscored Dutchland by themselves. Holly Winnicrackie with 71 and Thrashley with 44. Speaking of Holly Winnicrackie, she's out there for Carolina, gets a whip in the pack.
Oh, but
one blocker to beat in Twisted Scissors, who tries her best, is not able to do so. What a hit by JoJo Gadget on JK Trolling.
JK Trolling getting recycled to the back of the pack because of JoJo Gadget's quick feet. And now she's trying to make her way through. She's looking both on the in and outside, looking for the assist from her teammates as Holly Winnicrackie gets knocked to the outside by Bella Lebowski.
She tried to get back through on the inside lane. Daisy Rage found her and knocked her to the inside. Now Misanthrop the Morden, she's got to get away from that inside lane, Pelvis.
Wow, just look at that, the big sweeping hit. That right now, I'm not sure if that's going to really work right now in this tournament game as Holly Winnicrackie is just looking to just add more points to the Carolina basket.
And realistically, if Holly gets trapped in the pack, it's okay because it's bleeding time off the clock for Carolina as Dutchland's jammer is trapped as well. But Holly Winnicrackie going into the penalty box for a low block major penalty power jam Dutchland, but they need to get a more advantageous pack out there, and they're not going to have that opportunity because she can't call off the jam.
Wow.
And that is the completion of the initial pass, Pelvis. Almost a minute 30 trapped in the pack was JK Rowling.
Yeah, with only 30 seconds right now even left on the jam. She's looking a little slow coming up into that pack. Oh, Carolina very aware, just knocking her around like a pinball. She's been knocked to the inside. She is recycled to the back of the pack.
It looks like Misanthrop the Morden, as she was being sent out for a major, was assessed another major. So that may be a 2-minute major for Misanthrop the Morden. We will confirm that, but I believe that is the case as JK Trolling completes a scoring pass for Dutchland, 5 points.
She does a little bit of a minor skip for herself, and she gets 5 more points, bringing 10 points up there on the board for Dutchland.
And right now, penalty problems in favor of Carolina because JoJo Gadget has 5 trips to the box. Pelvis, if I'm Heavy D and Kelly Hurt, I'm sitting her for the rest of the game. You're going to need her for the rest of the tournament.
And for those of you who are listening to us because you're in the car, you're at work, you're not there on the video feed, we just want to let you know the current score is Dutchland 43, Carolina 188. And right now we've got on the second half at an official timeout, 20 minutes, 39 seconds left in Dutchland versus Carolina, the first game of East Region playoffs. This is Pelvis Costello. I am here with Sash and Victim. You are listening and watching on WFTDA.tv.
And of course, it's still not too late to buy that upgrade as well to the video feed. $12 gets you in for the entire weekend. We still have 16 bouts to go here. Up next will be Boston versus DC. Then at 2 o'clock, I can't wait for this one. I'm actually glad I'm not announcing it because it's going to be Montreal versus London. I get to pull up some floor and I get to relax. That is going to be an absolutely fantastic bout. Then the winner of this bout will go on at 4 p.m. to take on the Gotham Girls All-Stars, the defending champions of the WFTDA. it's so much great action is coming, Pelvis.
I'm absolutely in agreement. Part of this official timeout for you folks is that we're actually waiting for the game clock and scoreboard to come back up in the tournament area. Obviously, this is something that both the teams, audience, and officials are swearing and living by. So it is serious business to get that online and ready to rage.
Don't forget, you can talk to us out on the Twitter sphere with the hashtag Talk2, and that's the number 2, WFTDA.
Joe Mama, much love to you out in Denver. We love you. We miss you. We can't wait to see you.
And I hope he'll be there in championship, because Denver, the number 2 seed coming out of the West, in a great game against Ole, which I believe is up on the archives right now, Pelvis. What a great game that was. I got to sit back and relax after NSOing a game in Richmond, Virginia. What great. And that's the great thing about WFTDA TV is the archives. If you have a bout that you just loved and you can't wait to see it again, you get to watch the archives absolutely free on WFTDA.tv.
What I also love is that WFTDA is just definitely doing their best to just up their game on all of their product. One of the things that I've always loved, a subscription that comes to my house, sometimes more than one, which I love, is 5 on 5 Mag. That's right, women's flat track roller derby magazine. Its subscriptions are available at 5on5mag.com. And it looks like we are getting ready to start up again. You are looking right there at the action. The whistle blows.
Power Jam is going to carry over for Dutchland. Less than 20 minutes remaining.
Yep, you're looking at Skid Ho just finally getting through. She gets a lead jammer status. Look at Dutchland just holding themselves right there, waiting for her to come up. Holly Wanna-Krakia being knocked down into the inside.
Yeah, Dutchland's got to go up and handle their business right now. They had to get that 3-wall, but Holly Wanna-Krakia was through. She is not lead.
Wow, DVS just doing some great blocking there on Skid Ho. Skid Ho now finally through, calling it off. The look on her face there, just gotta get this done.
And not a moment too soon as well, because Holly Wanna-Krakia was approaching, and with that 4-wall right there, all she had to do was just get past the hips of one, and she's conceivably passed them all. So great call off there by Skid Ho, 5-0 jam. Dutchland trailing right now, 186-48.
We want to remind you, just in case you were wondering on the internets, that yes, the winner of this will play Gotham later today.
That's going to be at 4 o'clock right here on WFTDA.tv. As Ginger Clobber's jammer for Carolina is through, she's lead.
Wow, check this out. Oh! And now we are looking, looks like Compton being sent to the penalty box. Twisted Scissors now through on her initial pass.
Caddy Compton going to the box for an out-of-play major. Miss Anthrop Morton right now is still in the penalty box as well for Carolina on her 5th penalty minute.
Oh!
And a 4th minor penalty for a back block. Twisted Scissors going into the box. Carolina right now has a momentous lead. This is not what Dutchland needed.
No, definitely also not what Scissors needed. One of their primary jammers going for another penalty minute in the box. This could cost them a couple more, and she is out of the game.
She's trying to fight her way through that wall right now. Dutchland used to have a 3-wall, now it's a 2-wall. JoJo Gadget breaking things up.
Wow, look at Clobbers. Oh, Treasure Chest takes her down, but I'm not sure. No, it looks like it was a high block right there. She is being sent to the box for that one. And 5 more points.
And on top of that, it looked like it was dangerously close to the point of the elbow contacting the sternum, but it was a high block. We didn't get the best vantage point of that, but you have to be careful when you go in with those blocks. Mm-hmm. Clobber's got knocked to the infield, calls off the jam as she's going down. Smart move.
You know what? We're all watching this together, and what better way to show that community than Derby for All? Experienced Derby skaters getting you the right gear to take you to the next level, mounting plates until Sunday morning at their mega booth. That's right, derbyforall.com.
So if you're on your way to the Champlain Valley Exposition and you decide you need some plates mounted on your boots, they will be here. Looks like Power Jam is going to carry over due to a smart call off by Clobbers. Official score is updated 200-48 in favor of Carolina as we have less than 17 minutes remaining in the game.
Pretty reckless out there on this jam. Gets lead jammer status right there around turn 2. Twisted Scissors now out of the box, already engaging with the pack. Carolina just harassing her and holding her back just a little bit as Reckless engages that pack, takes a knee, and gets recycled.
And Jesse King was doing some great bridging right there to keep MC Fight and Miss Anthropomorphin in play, which caused that recycle. Great pack work by Carolina.
Look at Carolina, the way that they are tightening up in this pack. Just trying to hold her, taking the front one more time as Twisted Scissors getting hit around by DVS. Pretty Reckless on the outside, now having to come in careful.
Reckless swoops through on the inside. Look for the signal to call it off. It's a 5-point scoring pass there for Carolina. Heavy D says, nope, don't do it.
Meanwhile, Twisted Scissors still trying to get through that pack. They are not letting it happen, Captain.
It's like there are sharks swarming in the water, and they are currently devouring Twisted Scissors right now.
Wow, that's visceral. You're absolutely right. And now check it out. 5 more points there for Carolina.
Well, it's a 4-wall now on Carolina's defense. A hit to recycle her. Scissors slow to get up. She's been getting absolutely pummeled, Pelvis.
That's right. Carolina now basically doing this, showing up Dutchland and showing the world. This is basically the shot across the bow for the upcoming Gotham game to say, we are back. We are ready to fight.
And it's important to note, Carolina, and this was way back in 2006, so it's obviously not comparative to now. Carolina actually knocked Gotham out of a championship tournament, the 2006 quarterfinals. They actually knocked Gotham out of a tournament. It would be a huge, major upset if they could pull it off. You have to be here on WFTDA.tv to find out if they can pull this off, if they can advance from this game.
You know that type of magic is worth $12. I love to Vanilla Derby, always striving to exceed your expectations. Now available with upgraded Italian leather, vanillaskates.com.
Holly want to crack you out there, jamming. She's number 999.
Getting lead jammer. Oh no! Oh, Bella Lebowski being sent. It is a low block that is sending her to the box. A power jam there for Holly wanna crack ya. 14 minutes left on the clock. Holly wanna crack ya all the way up at the front, getting past Skid Ho. And now she is getting it one more time. 5 more points. A grand slam there for Carolina.
And once again, this is the shot across the bow that you're mentioning. Carolina came to play right here. They actually had a very packed schedule. They were playing top 10 teams from other regions. They did a fantastic job of getting their season together. They did not want to go to the 9th place game in this tournament, Pelvis.
Well, they're showing that they're definitely going beyond that, because that is 5 more points. Holly wanna crack you, just turning up the heat on this sauce. It is simmering Carolina fever. Holly wanna crack you, getting it again.
It's absolutely fascinating to watch Carolina's pack work, because you see it's like a constantly forming. It's like the blob. It is like the blob.
I'm sorry, Sashin. I'm just cutting you off just because I can't believe it. 5 more points. Holly wanna crack you in fuego.
It's absolutely the case right now, and I believe this is also maybe the 4th or 5th power jam of 20 points or more by Carolina.
And look at that score rattling up. 4 more points on that last pass, bringing you to Dutchland 48, 242. That's right, we are seeing that at 12 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. This is amazing.
Yeah, Carolina has really been on top of things here today, and you see actually, for the first time, they actually have to poodle somebody. Thrashley behind the line. She's going to pick up a 4th minor penalty for illegal procedure unless the official timeout happens, in which case Pelvis and I are going to breathe deeply.
And with this official timeout, we're going to find that out for you in just a second. Take a breather from that amazing power jam. Make sure that you go by the water cooler. Tell people to start spending their $12 and watch this on the internet in their cube.
And I don't think you can see it on your screen, but there are fans here at the Champlain Valley Exposition who are doing their morning calisthenics, they're echoing the official timeout. 12 minutes, 16 seconds remaining in the game. Carolina with a 194-point lead over Dutchland, 242-48.
That's right. J.K. Trolling now. She is going to be in there right now. The officials making sure that the points and penalties are correct, which is extremely important with only 12 minutes basically left in this jam.
Thrashley going into the penalty box for the illegal procedure minor, picking up her fourth. I bet we're going to see her jamming soon for Carolina.
And look at Trolling getting knocked to the outside, and boom, we get lead jammer status there for Carolina.
That is Ginger Clobbers, number 299, currently with. Sorry, my brain just caved in. Clobbers has 41 points for Carolina
so far. Now we're going to see if she's adding more. She's on her scoring pass, coming up into a very tight pack of Dutchland. She kind of ghosts her way through, scores in 1 point with that. Right now, every point is just added cherries to this Sunday.
Absolutely, and also the important thing too is these quick call-offs are going to rattle 30 seconds off the clock. Carolina wants to bleed as much time off the clock as they can. They know that if they advance, they have the defending WFTDA champions waiting for them next at 4 p.m. So they want to get out of here. They want to go and get some breathers. They want to relax. But Dutchland is not going to go gently into that good night, Pelvis.
Not by a long shot. You got KT Boundary and Holly Wanna Crack Ya already coming up against a line of orange so solid that it looked like it was holding back their own jammer. Now Holly Wanna Crack Ya making her way through. She is just powering through, and boom! Both of them coming right through. Lead jammer status for Carolina, but geez, KT Boundary right on her tail. Look at that harassment fanny pack right in the face.
Yeah, Holly Wanna Crack
Dutchland jammer.
Holly Wanna Crack Ya wants to make sure that she can hold back. Oh, what a hit by JoJo Gadget, but survived. She's being signaled for a track cut. Major, her one skate looks like it touched the outside boundary. That's a track cut on the Dutchland jammer.
Oh!
JoJo Gadget with the absolutely crucial block there. And you know, sometimes when you're moving out on the track, you don't feel your skate go up over that rope. And Holly Wanna Crack Ya, that's going to put her over 100. Actually, she's at 107 right now, Pelvis.
Amazing. And look at Holly Wanna Crack Ya already coming through. She's going to get 5 more points to add to that differential that you're just talking about. Watch those points raking up.
And it's important to note Carolina's biggest victory of the year, a 265-30 win over number 26 in the East, the Charlotte All-Stars. This will eclipse it with 2 more scoring passes.
Can you believe this? 5 more points as Holly Wanna Crack Ya is just setting the concrete track on fire with her skates.
Dutchland losing another blocker. It's going to be 5-on-2 in the pack. Obviously the 5 being Holly Wanna Crack Ya gets knocked to the ground right back up. And that is going to beat their highest scoring total of the year thus far. Another 5-point pass, 267-58 with 12 seconds remaining in the jam, 9 minutes in the period.
And here she comes in just on the inside, undetected. Wow, 5 more points. What a jam. What a jam. This is amazing.
That is going to be 6 straight, no, not 6 straight, but 6 power jams of 20 points or more. Holly Wanna Crack Ya up to 127. 127 points.
I gotta love you, Smarty McFly, and you're right. I understand. You're at work. You don't want us to yell the call into the microphone. As excited as we are, get some noise-canceling headphones.
This energy right now in the Champlain Valley Exposition, because Carolina rolls deep when they travel. And lead jammer status once again. This time it is Ginger Clobbers, 299 for Carolina. They are keeping that moving, Pelvis.
What amazing momentum. Here we go. She almost getting knocked to the inside, but no. Clobbers just holding herself in. She slides past Treasure Chest, gets 5 more points.
Absolutely phenomenal. And Skid Ho came back in and is going right back out. Major track cut. So the power jam continues for Carolina. They can't save themselves in this game.
Now Clobber's getting knocked to the inside. Treasure Chest trying to hold her back, but she is now making her way through. You cannot fold her like a chair, ladies and gentlemen. She takes those hits and keeps going. 5 more points.
Ginger clobbers right now. 282-59 Carolina, 7:45 remaining in the game. Less than a minute in the period. No real incentive to call off the jam, even though it is 4-on-1 in the pack as DVS waiting for a spot to open in the box. Box is full for Carolina, but 5 more points are through.
Oh, this is amazing. You are seeing this live right now. Roxy Rocket now being sent to the penalty box. Treasure Chest now getting some good positional blocking. Going for more conservative hits and blocks has actually been to her advantage this time around when she's going for those big hits. That's where you're seeing these grand slams just piling up.
Yep, Roxy Rocket was able to sit down as Carolina box starting to empty. Caddy Compton back on there. DVS, I believe, still has a penalty minute to serve. Looks like number 110, Jesse King, with a baseball slide on the outside. You didn't see it on your screen, but Ginger Clobbers completes another scoring pass just as DVS goes in the penalty box to serve that minute.
Amazing work. Absolutely amazing work. And now you're seeing right now 6 minutes, 40 seconds. You're getting Thrashley starting up on the jam line against JK Trolling. Or perhaps Skid Ho. Who knows?
Well, Skid Ho still had the jammer hat on from the last jam. And, you know, she's the team captain, says, you know what, I want to call a timeout. I want to catch my breath. And while I catch my breath, Pelvis, what have we got coming right here?
Here you're seeing a replay, and now you're watching as she's just powering through, just getting past everybody. Clobbers knowing exactly where everybody is on that track. Her peripheral and situational awareness, amazing. And it looks like there is a review there currently of points. Folks, I want to make sure that you also stay tuned because the third game today, Montreal versus London, will be a bilingual call. That is English and Francais. Sachez chanter.
Plastic Patrick will be here for that call, I believe, working with Bam Bam. That is going to be phenomenal. So you know what? Once again, that bout last year was the 2011 Bout of the Year as voted by the readers of Derby News Network, 137-135. We get the privilege of it being a quarterfinal game. We know we're going to see that rematch, Pelvis.
I know. I've been knocked around by this game myself, and I'm just sitting in a chair. And I got to let you know that one of the things that you need to do in order to that is get yourself a mouth guard. Safe, smart, comfy, talk, breathe, drink. Only SISU mouth guard. That is SISUguard.com.
And this team timeout has turned into an official timeout. As soon as we know, you will know. You see Nameless Horror of the New Skids on the block doing the calisthenic warm-up right there. You know, it's like we mentioned the New Skids, and then the New Skids show up warming up right here.
If you can overhear the breathing of the slide whistle, inhale and exhale, I am absolutely in love with the folks today.
A little bit of Canadian love right here, Pelvis.
That's right. You know what? After all this, we're checking right now. It looks like the referee's going to be giving us some. The points are standing in that review as we're coming up. Don't forget, folks, Union Vacations is your best way to save money for your league travel. Union Vacations proud to supply the winner of this year's Bracket Bonanza with a trip for 2 to the 2013 WFTDA Championship Tournament, unionvacations.com.
And Pelvis, of course, we had the first ever perfect bracket in the Bracket Bonanza. Last week, someone had a perfect bracket. Absolutely phenomenal. You need to up your smarts if you want to win the Bracket Bonanza.
I never predict. Wow.
Lead jammer status going to Carolina. That is Thrashley.
Oh.
And a major penalty is going to send Caddy Compton into the box.
JK Trowlin still coming to Thrashley goes for the leap. Doesn't quite make it.
She's got a significant long jump, but not quite there.
Like a deer hitting a Mini Cooper.
Yep, and exactly. And the reason why that is not a track cut is because she landed on her knees going in. If you land on your skates and the momentum carries you in, that's a track cut. If you land on your knees, you have not officially returned to the track because you're still out of play. So you're able to call it, though.
There you go. One of the things that is great when you are listening to us, which, by the way, it is 59 Dutchland, 296 Carolina, 5 minutes, 30 seconds left, is that you get to learn something new about the rules from not only our wonderful officials and the game itself, but from our beautiful announcers. And check it out.
Dutchland's needed this for quite a while. KT Boundary lead jammer, number 65 for Dutchland. 296 to 59 is the score. Holly Wanakrakia looking to complete her initial pass. Pack advantage is in favor of Dutchland 4-on-2. However, DVS is standing in the box. You do not see it on your screen. Right now it's up to Jessie King and Roxy Rocket to hold it down, 2 veterans of the Carolina All-Stars. KT Boundary completes the pass, calls off the jam.
Doing it quite well. You know, you should check out the Bracket Bonanza sponsor, the 2N1 Skate Shop. Take 10% off your entire order at 2, the letter N1, skate shop with an E.com.
And 2 P's as well, don't forget that.
That's right, when you use the coupon code BONANZA during checkout. 2N1 Skate Shop, shock the competition.
.296 to 63 is the score. 4 minutes, 15 seconds remaining. Thrashley, the jammer for Carolina, going up against, looks like Skid Ho for Dutchland.
And there you go, lead jammer there for Dutchland, Skid Ho.
Jessie King going into the penalty box. She's going to tag team it with Caddy Compton, who's on her way back. It's just DVS in the pack, the captain for Carolina, being rejoined as Skid Ho completes the scoring pass. Only 4 points. She did not get the lap point and calls off the jam just as Thrashley approaches.
Oh, look at that laugh right there. Skid Ho just trying to get those points on. Smiles all around there on the Dutchland thing. People are realizing this competition is fierce in our bracket. But these two teams came into this loaded for bear, and Dutchland has nothing to cry about with 296 from Carolina and 67 from Dutchland.
And of course, Dutchland still has the opportunity to finish higher than their seed, which is 9th right now. If they go to the consolation bracket, they can still win out and finish, I believe, as high as 5th. So Dutchland not out of this by a long shot.
Whoa, J.K. Trowling tried, but no, that was a major track cut coming around that turn. So she is going to be sent to the box. And with 2 minutes and 55 seconds left on the clock, that means another power jam right here for Carolina.
Ginger Clobbers found that line right in the middle is through, and she is lead. Clobbers right now with 66 points for Carolina. Of course, the leading scorer for Carolina, Holly Wanakrakia, with 127 and only 12 jams, Pelvis.
Absolutely amazing. Look at that. The angry hornet's nest of the orange Dutchland just knocking her all the way to the outside, trying to hold her there. She's getting recycled. Hands being raised. This is where you need to come back.
And sort of a slow return because Ginger Clobbers knows they have almost a 230-point lead. Take time off the clock, even if you get, oh no. Track cut major, and Ginger Clobbers is going to go to the box. While you want to bleed time off the clock, you don't want to do it in the box.
There are ways and there are ways.
And on top of that, Dutchland's jammer is standing, so that means 10 seconds remaining in her penalty. Ginger Clobbers is going to sit less than a minute, obviously, but still a significant amount of time she's going to have to sit in that box. 4-wall in the front for Carolina. Dutchland trying to break it up. J.K. Trolling trying to get through. Survives a hip hit from DVS and is through.
We're looking for that. It looks like 4 points being scored right there for Dutchland. Absolutely amazing. Folks, don't forget to tweet your highlights of this game to us at #Talk2WFTDA.
And there have been some highlights. If you go back and you look at the archives of this, the apex jumps by Thrashley have been absolutely fantastic. Just great long jumping skills. It's really getting to the point where, much like mixed martial arts, to be a skater, Pelvis, you have to have a significant amount of skills. You have to have speed skating. Jam skating doesn't hurt as well. Long jumping skills are absolutely critical for those apex jumps.
I'm going to tell you right now, it looks like there was combat training in Carolina because they are ready for war on this bracket.
Well,
check this out right here.
DVS, the great hip hit.
Did you see that, though? Like the great hip hit, she still keeps her legs right there. You've got to love J.K. Trolling.
Yep, we are now in the final minute of the game. We're now at 30 seconds. Ginger Clobbers has lead jammer status. She was looking at the scoreboard. Carolina leads 299, which is ironically her number, to 75. And you've got to think Ginger Clobbers is keeping a close eye on the scoreboard. She has a power jam once again. it doesn't really, I mean, there's no incentive to rack up the score. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a call-off as soon as the period clock hits 0, Pelvis.
Oh, I am with you on this right now, Sash. And right now we are just seeing that dominant time. 5 more points being brought in. The jam clock is the only clock that's left.
And that is the call-off. Carolina with a beastly victory. 304-75. This is the unofficial score at this time. Pelvis, if I had told you this was going to be the score coming into this game, you would have slapped me and called me silly.
Well, you know what? I think I would have had to slap myself because of one of the things that we said. Both of these teams coming in, they were ready. We thought originally closely matched. Now you are actually seeing with that score, Carolina saying, no, sir, we are ready to bring it. They're going to be facing Gotham later today. I am absolutely overcome with joy. I am trying not to scream.
And it's important to note it happened about 5-6 years ago, but Carolina is one of 2 teams in this tournament to hang a victory on Gotham. Of course, the other team was Philly after that crucial 1-point win they had in 2009. Gotham advancing into the quarterfinal bracket. They cannot finish any lower than their seed, number 8 right now. They face the defending champs, Pelvis.
Absolutely.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the WFTDA Eastern Regional Playoffs. I am the Reverend Almighty, standing alongside Roxy Rocket. Talk about the game.
Well, it was really, really tough game. We came in here not knowing anything about Dutchland, and we usually focus on the opposing team. So this time we really focused on how we work together, what our strengths are, and really didn't look outside of who our team is and outside of our bubble. So it was very, very stressful, let me just say that. So.
It was a definitely difficult game. You could see the team kind of feeling itself out as the game progressed. A lot of trips to the box early, started cleaning it up after it went on. But, I mean, you're ranked 8th in the East. You just played the 9 team, and you beat them 304-75.
Yeah, we did that. I mean, it was, like I said, we try not to look at the scoreboard too much, you know? We just want to focus on what we feel is right. When we're confident, we're positive, we're working really strongly together. So it was nice to look up there and be like, oh, okay, we're 100 points ahead. But still, you don't let go. It's still 0-0, no matter what.
Exactly, and now we're about to talk about the elephant in the room. After you get to win by almost 250 points, now you get to play the Juggernauts, the returning WFTDA champions in Gotham. What do you do going into that game?
Oh, dude, we got this. That was good. We're excited about it. Like, Gotham is very professional. We're very, very excited to get this opportunity to play them. I mean, I don't care if it's a tournament, just to learn from them so we can get better the rest of this tournament. We're really excited. Like I said, they're professional. We're not nervous about safety, about anything. We're just going in there and fucking learning, and we're going to work on our teamwork while we have really nothing to lose, except we have everything to gain from this game. So we're just really fucking excited to get this opportunity to play them. Really excited.
Sorry, children, not safe for work, I guess, on this one. It's okay, she's in the moment. She actually can't even stop moving her skates. This girl is ready to play Gotham. Carolina versus Gotham coming up later on today. We're about to go to Boston versus DC.
Yes.
We've never played each other. Do you have any predictions?
Manischewitz. Well, they're both really, they're getting really cohesive team. We're really building up from last year. We played both of them this year. Boston was, they work really, really well together, and I just see them getting stronger and stronger. I haven't seen DC play too much after we played them in March, but we played Boston in May, and we lost, like, I don't know, by 5 or 10 points, 20, I have no idea. But it was really good. They're a really strong team, and you can tell that they've gained a lot since then, so it's going to be really exciting.
Roxy Roxon says stay tuned. It's going to be really exciting. Thank you very much for coming here today. Good luck this afternoon.
Awesome.